Now there's two ways you can go with this, and the first way, which is the simplest way, which we started out with, is you put a high 8 tape into the slot on the camera, and then what you do is you press in the record button on here, and then while you're holding the record button down, you also press this blank button. And when you do that, a little red circle should appear on the screen, or something like that. And that means that you're recording to the tape in here. So then, once you're done recording your footage, you press, stop button, and you rewind the tape, and then you can import it into the computer. However, there is a way to do this, so you import the footage directly into the computer without using a tape. And this will work if you have the Xbox close to your computer, because I don't think they make a FireWire cord that's super incredibly long. So, to do that, we would act like you're importing footage. And what we would do is take our FireWire cord over here, it's connected into the computer, and plug it into the appropriate port on the camera, which happens to be right in here. See, it says DV in out, the one with a little I next to it. So we plug this cord into that output right there. So once we've connected our FireWire in, it's all connected up to the computer, we have our editing program opened up, which is Final Cut Express. So now for normal video editing software, you now go to the capture button. However, there's a little trick, at least with this version of Final Cut Express, that you need to do in order to capture it directly from the TV, or the Xbox I should say. Because when you go straight into capture mode on here and press the capture button, it thinks that you're capturing it from a tape, and so then it'll start up the tape and it won't record from the Xbox. So a little trick that I found that works is you turn off the camera and then you go to capture right there. Then a little message will pop up saying that you're unable to capture, but you can still use it anyway. So once this pops up, then you turn the camera back on. Alright, and then you press OK. And that should display right there. So now you have it displaying on the TV, the computer, and the camera. So now go ahead, press the capture button, and it's capturing to the computer. Now, we use Final Cut Pro to edit our episodes of Marlin the Elite. However, before we got that, we used Final Cut Express. Now, for some reason, the version of Final Cut Pro that we have won't work with this for some reason. It's unable to use this method for whatever reason. But for some reason, Final Cut Express does. So it really varies depending on which editing software you have. If this doesn't work, the best way to do it is to just capture it to the tape here, and then import that into your software on the computer. And you should be good to go. Now, as far as recording techniques, what we usually do is we just, record a little clip that we find, and then stop it, and then start it again when we record a new clip. Some people, like Digital Fear, I think he said, just capture the whole time that they're filming, and that extra footage on here can use up a lot of space on your computer. So that's the method we use. We don't really record straight through because that uses up a lot of space. So But if you have a lot of space, I could see where that might be a good option. It's just that then that might be more work when you're editing, because it's harder to find stuff in a giant clip. So anyway, again, to briefly overview, we have our Xbox plugged into the imports on our VCR. We have these output splitters on the VCR. One goes back into the TV so we can see what we're filming. The other goes into the camera right here. Then we have our FireWire cable going into the computer. And it's always a good idea to have your camera plugged in to an outlet so you don't run out of power. Now, one more thing I forgot to add is that this setup will not capture in true HD. That might be a downer for some, but this method is a lot cheaper than buying a whole expensive rig, so it works for us. And the reason it shows up on HD on YouTube is with our export settings that we use. And it's not true HD, but it'll still get you the best quality for your setup. And that's pretty much it for capturing. I hope you find this helpful.